Gemini, March is upon us. Let's connect and see how you can make this energy work for you. Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Shalom, all. Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot for the month of March for Gemini. Gemini, this is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and also for anyone who has a Gemini in their life that they love. What a great way to stay up on what's going on with the peeps in your life. Okay, so we are pulling an overarching theme for you today from the Sacred Creators Oracle from Chris Ann. And then the deck that spoke to me for you guys today for this reading is the Soul Sparkle Tarot. Super excited to be tapping in for you. All right, without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, and while I am shuffling up and getting the theme, so excited to be sharing with you guys that I finally have a join button. I now in YouTube am able to offer memberships. It took me 11 years for YouTube to finally acknowledge me and to say that I was worthy. So please take a peek at that if you want to keep the conversation going. Would love to be able to connect with you in that way. Okay, Gemini, overrate your intuition. All right, what this is saying, because it feels a little backwards, right? Because you're like, okay, overrate it. Like, is it overrated? Is that what you're saying? No, it's saying make sure you overrate it. Like, go into your intuition, live fully from an intuitive perspective. In fact, what I'm hearing is this is the challenge for you. Should you choose to accept it, right? Mission impossible. Should you choose to accept it? And of course, we know mission impossible is not really impossible at all. You're able to get it done. And I feel like the intuition is coming through to say, hey, this is going to be a highly intuitive month. There's going to be a lot of highly intuitive energy that you can access. And why not take advantage of it? Don't live from a logical, rational perspective. And, you know, Geminis, I'm a Gemini moon, so I get it. We are always in our heads. We're always overanalyzing. We're always thinking. This is where I want to say where our superpower lies, but also, you know, everything in moderation. You know, anything can become a bad thing or a good thing based on, you know, how you're using it. And if you're using it too much, you know, you're overusing it, then that's a problem. So don't overuse your mind and really step into the intuition. Allow the intuition to steer the ship and to guide your path forward. Okay, let's see what is coming through this month in relation to that overrate your intuition. So this is you in the present moment, where you are right now in your transformational journey. What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Yeah, I feel, guys, like you're trying to run away from something, and you're trying to run away pretty fast. The world is moving very quickly, and you're getting caught up in the storm. I feel that this is a month where you want to really kind of ground yourself. You want to make sure that you are doing grounding practices every day, whatever that means for you. Maybe you're putting a crystal in your pocket that is a grounding crystal. Anything that is kind of opaque and darker is going to help you with that. Maybe it's walking barefoot in the grass, if you're able to, if you don't have any snow on the ground, talking to a tree, petting your cat or your dog or your pet. You know, there are many different ways to kind of ground yourself, but I am feeling that that's going to be really important, because what's happening for you right now is you're being caught up in the 3D, you know, the drama of the rest of the world. It might not be your drama, but somehow it's kind of fallen into your lap, and you've got to sort of handle that or deal with that. So this is an invitation to not be impulsive, not to be swayed by the flotsam and jetsam of what is around you, and to instead always feel your core and your center. The swords is the realm of intuition, the realm of the mind, the realm of communication. So think before you speak. Even if someone else is saying, I need an answer right now, you say, give me 10 seconds, or let me call you back in 2 minutes and I'll have an answer for you then. Stand your ground and create space for yourself to take a breath and to really connect with how you're feeling and what you're feeling. This is going to be a really big month. I feel like there are going to be a lot of collectively uncomfortable things And I also see on an individual level, there are a lot of people wanting things from you, a lot of people pulling at your, tugging at your shirt sleeves, right? Remember, you always have the choice. You always have the power to teach others how you wish to be treated, I guess would be a good way to say that. All right, catalyst. What's fueling or hindering this transformation? Is it resistance or rocket fuel? Oh, I love this. The world. Yes, the world is coming to the end of a cycle, and so are you. And again, you're kind of being caught up or swept up in this ending. But I want to say, is it your ending, or is it an ending that you are facilitating or participating in or playing a role in? Know what your role is. Connect to your role. Stand in your role. Stand in your power. Stand in your grounding. Stand in your role. The world is going to keep turning. And this cycle is definitely ending. But you get to choose the role that you play in it. I really feel, just kind of tapping into all of this, it's less about following orders or doing what you've always done in the past, and more about really evaluating from an intuitive perspective, what is my role in this? What do I want my role to be? How do I want to show up in this situation or this scenario? You have power and you have choice. So I'm going to say the world card right now can feel a bit like a resistance to you, because you feel like you're a leaf blowing in the wind, or you feel that you don't have a lot of agency to, sort of step in and do what you want to do or what you feel you need to do. But I would say kind of break the rules a little bit, because quite frankly, the energy that we're in, there are no rules. Everything is upside down. Right? We are in an alternate reality, an alternate universe. And so therefore, the things that we used to rely on or count on, we can't do that anymore. And not to say, every person for themselves, but I want to say, listen to your intuition, because your intuition is always going to guide your path forward. When there is no way, when there is no manual to follow, when there are no rules, your intuition is going to be your guide. So lean into that. That's going to help you to deal with the rest of the world. Because I feel like the problem is the world. The world's gone mad, and you're trying to right the world. You're trying to make it better. You're trying to stop the world, maybe sometimes from crashing down around its ears. But I want to say, you got to let it crash. You got to let it fall. You can't stop it from happening. So listen to your intuition and let that inform your choices and your next move. What deep root, what deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Another night. Yeah, things aren't moving fast enough for you, and yet they're moving super fast, right? Like, it's moving so fast that you can barely stay on top of it. And you're a Gemini, so you can handle a lot of quick thinking, quick action, movement. Like, you're able to do that. Knight of Pentacles is like the opposite. I want to say it's the polar opposite to the Swords energy, because the Knight of Pentacles is like, no, I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there on my own time, and I'm going to stop and smell the roses, and there's no need to rush. Meanwhile, the Knight of Swords goes off like a shot without all the information, right? So it's really interesting that you've got these two sort of opposite knights. Both are on the journey. Both are taking the path. Both have something interesting to offer, and both also get in their own way. So there's a part of you, I feel like, with all of this happening, you're questioning, should I just shut down? Should I stop this? Should I get out of the battle? I want to say this is not a time to procrastinate. It's also not a time to make that kind of decision. I feel more like it's, yes, slow and steady wins the race, but I would say right now it's medium and steady wins the race. Or, based on the path that you're going, like Dory says, just keep swimming, always swimming, right? Just keep moving forward. Don't stop to smell the roses right now, but you also don't have to go at breakneck speed. You're trying to find the balance between each of these. There is a deep belief that you have that what you're dealing with can't be fixed. And I'm going to say to you, you're right. You're 100% right. And I don't say that to cause you stress or grief or harm. I say that to you because your guides are saying, face what is really in front of you. Because when we see a thing head on, when we face the reality of a situation, the truth of a situation, and we surrender to what that is, now the universe can bring in the magic, right? Now the universe has something to work with. If we're getting in our own way, or we're allowing, the world and its games to get in the way of our intuition, we're doing ourselves a disservice, because at the end of the day, you're still going to be moving on and moving forward. You have a part to play, but you can be more, you can have more say in that part that you are playing. Hope that makes sense. What's dying away? What part of you is falling away? What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? All right. Well, we got two. Two flew out, so we're going to go with those two. So we have the Four of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Interesting. So when we talk about what's dying away, the version of life where you felt safe and secure and you knew what was coming, you knew what to expect was there. Yeah, it's no longer. You're graduating. You're moving on to something else. But what you're moving on to is this Queen of Cups energy. It's a Scorpio energy. So yeah, there are going to be some darker times ahead. There are going to be some, I want to say, some unsettling choices or decisions that you are going to be facing, or that you are going to be helping others to face or to make. But I also want to say the Queen of Cups is huge on compassion. This is the card of deep love and compassion, and an understanding that emotions are a roadmap. They don't have to overtake us. They are a roadmap to what we can become, or to who we are choosing to become. And so I feel like when we're talking about this in relation to what's dying away is the old. And therefore, you want to let go of your reactions and responses to the old, because the new that's coming in, it's all about heart, it's all about love, it's all about compassion. Love is the answer. That's what I want to say here. Love is the answer. Look at all of the stars that are around this queen's head, right? She's got the cup. She's wearing peach. So peach is the blending of the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra. So, sexuality, sensuality, creative expression and flow, the ocean of our emotion, our mastery, our identity, personal power, co-creation. You're graduating into a space where you're going to be able to use your feelings and emotions to co-create a better outcome for yourself and for the world at large, depending on what your, soul path and soul journey is, and what your choices are. So let this die away. Accept, I want to say, I feel like radical acceptance is here. Radically accept that this is kind of where things are at for you. And as you're radically accepting that, you're saying, okay, universe, I'm creating space for you to bring into my life, into this space, what I need to be focusing on moving forward. Highest Phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. Ooh, I love it. We've got the Magician card. So when you release your attachment to the past, or to the way things have been done in the past, and you accept that the resources that I have right now in front of me are the resources that I need. So if I'm in the earthquake, or in the kind of the aftershock of the earthquake, yeah, my sword might be broken because it fell off the wall in the earthquake, but the blade is still sharp, and I still have a hilt, and maybe I can seek a little bit of tape or twine, and it might not work as a defensive tool or mechanism in the form that it's in, but I can alchemize it and mix it with something else. Maybe I can attach the blade of the sword to my wand with that tape, or with that rope, maybe with some glue. And now I've got not only a wand that can focus my energies, but I also have a sword. So I've created something that's even better for me to use in this interesting time that I'm living in. I feel like this highest Phoenix potential is really showing up for you in the Magician form, because it's encouraging you to work with what you've got now. And that's going to be, Gemini, the easiest way for you to shed the old in the past. You can refer to it. you can say, okay, in the past we did this and this, but that's not actually an option to us now. We can use it to inform us, but we're in a new space, a new energy entirely. This thing that is happening, I've never seen it before. I've never come across it before. You don't have to be afraid of it because it's unknown. Instead, see it as, okay, let me throw a few things with this. Let me throw a few spells and make a few concoctions to see what works. And I accept the fact that I might make some really horrible concoctions until I find the right blend or the right mix. But that's the whole point, is I'm working with what is now, what I've got right in front of me. I'm not seeking out what I need in terms of what I used to do. I'm using what is in front of me right now. And that can be in the form of emotions. We talked about that Queen of Cups energy, using your emotions to work for you, taking advantage of them rather than allowing them to, sort of navigate your choices. Energetically, you're using your energy differently. So less is more. Some of you, I feel there's a potency to your power. And you're recognizing that, I don't need to do as much or say as much for it to have, an effect. Honor that, listen to that. Don't burn yourself out. It means you're going to be able to help more people with less investment, less time invested. So yeah, this is big. This is a big one for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, just want to make sure I'm on track here. What's emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase? Actually, no, I feel like it's this one. 10 of Wands. Yes. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. So for some of you, I feel from a work perspective, or this could also be connected to family, there's something coming up that you're actually going to be releasing. You're going to be letting it go. You're going to be saying, this no longer fits, or I no longer have time. I'm no longer able to accompany you, or accompany this, or be of service in this way. And I feel like you're releasing the burdens. You're going to put the wands down. You're putting them down on the path that someone else is going to be able to walk that path and pick up. You might keep 1 or 2 for yourself, but ultimately what I'm feeling here is you're going to be shutting down something that you've been doing for a long time in lieu of, or in favor of, a new approach, a new way of being. So for example, for those of you in a career perspective, it's not so much that you are leaving your job as much as maybe you are leaving the role and going into a different role that is more aligned with what you're seeking out. For those of you who have been in a volunteer type situation, you're looking at the role that, maybe you've been volunteering for the same organization for a while. You're saying, I no longer feel aligned with this approach to things, and I would rather do something else instead. Maybe it is with the same organization. Maybe it's going to be with a different organization. Maybe you are the organization. You're saying, I no longer want to do anything for anyone else right now. I just want to focus on myself. Either way, or any way you slice it, however this is coming up. And in terms of family, there may be a shift in the roles. Like you've always been the one to handle the finances and pay the bills. And this month you're like, nope, I'm not doing that anymore. My partner gets to do that. And we're going to shift up the roles. Whatever this is, trust that what you're releasing and letting go needs to be released and let go. Don't overthink or overanalyze this choice. When you feel it bubbling up inside of you, act on it. Release it. Drop the wands. Drop them right away. You don't have to get to the next corner to drop them off. You can just simply say, yeah, I just woke up this morning and I know this is not what I want to do. So don't do it. Take steps to say, I'm done with this. Stick a fork in me. Moving on. That feels really important. All righty. Your role in this shift, you in this process. How are you navigating this transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? Wow, 2 10s in a row. You're really shaping yourself up for a new beginning, a fresh start. There's such a desire for you right now to not be caught in the hamster wheel of life. The hamster wheel of life being, I do the same thing over and over again. I'm just running on the hamster, running on the treadmill, and never get anywhere. But I'm working real hard. I feel like when we look at the 10 of Cups, this is the ideal outcome. And only you know what your ideal outcome is, and only you are going to, I want to say, insist upon it. Only you are going to be able to make it happen. You've got a lot of people around you, Gemini, who have a lot of expectation of what you do for them. And I feel like this 10 of Cups is really asking you to take a step back and to evaluate what you're getting out of that service. Not saying that you have to cut everybody out, just saying evaluate what you're getting out of that dynamic as well. Is it still an ideal outcome for you? Or are you feeling burdened because you're beholden to somebody else's? I just heard wet dream. I don't know where that came from, but you're beholden to somebody else's dream or desire. Apparently, the guides are tapping into my dirty mind, so I apologize if that offended anybody. But that's what was coming through. And the evaluation here that's happening, I really feel for you guys, is about you making sure that you are front and center of your own ideal outcome. And even if you don't know exactly, what that last cup is going to feel like or taste like, you just know that you want to be able to see it. You want to be able to have the experience of getting there. That's okay. You can still drop these wands and make your way on the path to have that experience. You don't have to have all of your ducks in a row in order to be able to step forward. In fact, the 10 is new beginnings based on an already established foundation. So I feel like if you were to decide to kind of drop all these wands, you still have, something to work towards. You still have something that has already been established that you're working towards. The 10 of Cups also, when we talk about, that ideal outcome, I feel like you're in a window of time here, or a window of energy here in March, where you get to dictate what that is. So that co-creative energy is really coming alive for you. We talk about overrate your intuition. Listen to your intuition, because your intuition is going to let you know what you want to be working for and working towards. And that could very easily be something completely brand new that you never considered before, you never thought of, you never thought that would be, something that would be in your wheelhouse, or even something that you would, consider at all in your life. And yet here it is presenting itself. Don't question it, explore it. That's what I'm hearing. Don't question it, explore it. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it positive or negative? You. The Lover's card is the Gemini card. You. And how you're reflecting yourself. No, how do I put this? The reflection that you receive, how others see you, your interactions with others, how others see you, what they're showing you, the reflection that they're showing you. You're giving something, and then there's a reflection that comes back to you. If you're giving love and the reflection that's coming back to you is one that doesn't receive, look at those areas where you maybe aren't receiving the love back, right? Or look at the situation and say, okay, I'm giving you a lot of love and you're just not receiving it. So therefore there's a capacity issue, in that regard. And then you can reflect onto that person what you're noticing about their capacity to receive love, right? So, this is all about, yes, the Lovers is about choice, but I really feel like it's about the deep reflections of ourselves and our own learning journey in relation to other. Otherwise, like, we could do this journey, by ourselves. We could kind of figure it out, but it's more fun when we have interaction with others, right? And I feel like when we talk about this is the support system. Yes, this is our circles of support. I want to make sure I've got it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, circles of support. You have the ability to recognize that all of this is coming through in your relationships. You have the ability to stop and look at the interactions that you're having and to be able to see what is being reflected back to you. And is that a reflection that you prefer, or is there something else that you prefer instead? But you can get in your own way. If you're operating from, the worldview, from that world's pace, you might be in a more reactionary space rather than a responsive space. And I feel like you have the ability to really be responsive to what is being shown to you. So you are your own support system based on who you're interacting with and what you're noticing about those interactions this month. Wow, that's interesting. That felt like pulling teeth. And whenever it feels like pulling teeth, it usually means that it's very like higher conscious awareness. It's pie in the sky stuff, which means it's very esoteric, important information to receive. Hopes and fears. Who are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually doing it? Interesting. 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a lot of fear and worry about shedding the old version of self. There's fear and worry that you might not have enough moving forward. There's fear and worry that you don't know exactly what the future holds. There's fear and worry that you may remain injured or operate out of your wounds for the rest of your life. And this card also really represents what we focus on, we manifest. And if you're focusing on your injury and you're focusing, both of their heads are down. They're looking down. They're not looking around them. If they were to look up and look around them, they would see that there's help, there's light, there's money, there's finance, there's resource. They're walking past a thing that could actually really help them out, because what they're focusing on is what has been, their past, or, their present moment, the wounds, the injuries, the things that aren't necessarily going the way they think it should go. This you want to step out of, because I feel like what you put your focus to, you manifest. And if we're talking about a co-creative experience here, especially with this 10 of Cups, this, you want to turn that frown upside down. This is not going to get you there, but this will. So open your eyes and really be conscious of what you are putting your focus and attention to manifesting. That's the big key. Outcome of this transformation. If you stay on course, who will you be on the other side? Oh my goodness, these cards are just, they're going all over the place today. It's making me crazy. So who will you be on the other side of this journey in March? What is the result of embracing the full death and rebirth cycle? This is the one that's calling to me here. Page of Swords. Interesting. Yes, new thought, new approaches. A lightness of heart, a lightness of being, less anxiety. I don't want to say no anxiety, because Gemini, I think we all have some anxiety, and just the world that we're living in right now, there's anxiety just floating around in the air. So you can't avoid it, but less anxiety. And Page of Swords is very curious. Page of Swords is very thoughtful. Page of Swords takes its time to explore what is to come, or to explore what the possibilities are. And I feel like basically what's going to come out for you on the other side of March is a little more confidence, a little less of feeling so responsible for and to other people, and more of a sense of, this is the direction that I'm taking. He's created a portal behind him. And I feel like that's what you're doing. In essence, you're saying, okay, yeah, I live in this world, but I'm ready for a new journey. I'm ready for a new adventure. And regardless of what else is going on in the world, I can still choose that adventure and participate in the world at large. The Page of Swords does not have reservations or, reticence or hesitance to exploring a path. The Page of Swords says, all right, let's do this. Put me in the library so that I can research the opportunities or the options. Let me plan the trip. I'm going to go online tonight and I'm going to look up, all the, top 10 things to do in, Poland or in Italy or in South America, wherever it is. And I'm going to do a little bit of research to see what lights my fire and floats my boat. What do I resonate with? What do I align with intuitionally? I'm being called to walk through this portal. And the portal is going to stay open until I'm ready to walk through it. So I don't have to worry about that. Now it's just about shaping the experience that I want to have. And I feel like that's basically what March is bringing to you, is the ability to shape the experience that you wish to have, reminding you of your power. All right, Gemini, that is your transformational tarot reading for the month of March. As always, if you need some assistance or help in going through this process, click the link below, book a session with me. I'm more than happy to help you out. Like, subscribe, click the bell on my YouTube, check out my join button for the 3-tiered memberships to keep the conversation going. Otherwise, I hope you have the most amazing month. Until we see you for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, sending you lots of love and support. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well.